of folks who are out either doing college visits or other obligations. We also have a board meeting where I know there's a lot being discussed around things that are happening in terms of diversity and inclusion. And I got some notes from folks that were going to be attending some of those board meetings in person. So I think we'll have a smaller crew today. We also have Miss Kathleen Brewster, our Director of Counseling, who's going to join us at about 8:15, 8:30-ish. And so she'll be presenting. And we have Erin. Erin is joining us. Okay, cool. So just let Erin in. So for our agenda today, it's a little bit packed. I think we'll go pretty quickly, but we will hear from Josh. We'll talk a little bit about our 9th through 12th grade activities. Um, we will hear from Dr. Ben Lair. We have a new spirit wear sale happening. Yay. We have our Arlington Tech Community Social coming up in March next week. Next week is March. Yep. Grace Hopper Center update. Some updates on teacher staff appreciation. And then our guest speaker, Miss Brewster. Josh, I can turn it over to you to do our treasurer update.
Hi, everybody. Not much new again this month. Our outlays have started to go out a little bit, but we're still ahead of plan and looking forward to more reimbursement requests and teacher appreciation, which is always a big item.
Yeah,
So as always, send questions if you have them. Happy to answer anything via email or get on a call if somebody's very curious about stuff.
thank you, Josh. I know there's lots of conversations around senior activities. I know the location was just booked, so there's going to be some expenditures that way. And then I'll share some other updates. But thank you, Josh. Appreciate everything you do. So before we get to the full agenda, I just wanted to pause because the world is crazy right now. And just, I don't know, create some space for if there's anything that anyone wants to share. I'll just share on our end, a lot of the executive orders and things that are happening in DC are obviously impacting our community, from our parents and families who may be impacted by the layoffs, our immigrant and undocumented students, both within Arlington Tech and the English language learners program at ACC. So just sharing in terms of folks that have reached out to ATAC for support. I know Sherry has been working with some of the demonstrations that students have been doing. There was one today of students in support of LGBTQ students and staff. And I think they're going to be speaking at the board meeting tonight. ATAC helped to run an Amazon wish list for undocumented students or mixed status students at ACC that included Arlington Tech students for a Valentine's Day drive of items to help lower anxiety and fear, as many students are scared to walk through the building. And the staff was not able to collect those items, so we collected them and delivered them. And so that's one piece. I've also reached out to Miss Monica, who leads our DEI efforts, and Miss Trevino, who leads ELI, English Language Learners Institute at ACC, to see how we could be helpful. And they are gathering and supporting each other, as supporting the students right now is also hard. And I know in terms of the layoffs, I think Dr. Benner, we've talked about how we could provide additional financial support to any senior parents who might be reaching out, and trying to keep activities, as we think about end of year activities, as the cost down as much as possible, and just being mindful of expenses. Is anything anyone wants to share just before we go to our regular agenda? Okay, great. Okay. So 9th through 11th grade activities, lots in motion. 9th grade, I know events are being planned and outreach is being done with the students and the families. So TBD on some events that are going to be happening. Heidi is out the gate with 10th grade. They did cookie decorating for Valentine's Day, which I heard was great, and some seniors went and stole cookies. Next Monday, March 3rd, there's going to be a get together for 10th grade parents at Heidi's house. And then April 5th, there's going to be a family skate night. I believe an email went out specifically to 10th grade parents. 11th grade, Jesse, I know you've been in contact with the 11th grade students and a survey went out. I'm not sure exactly what is locked in, but I know that those are in motion. Jesse, is there anything you want to share or is that TBD?
Yeah, we met with Dr. Van Laer and three of the students from the 11th grade who are super active. And we planned out a field day for the students at the end of the year. As you had mentioned, the funding is really tight this year. And so they preferred to do a kind of a no frills, very low cost field day. And instead of using money for the field day, they decided that they'd rather put that money towards Busch Gardens trip.
So they are going to Busch Gardens. All the grades are going to Busch Gardens, or yes,
Yeah.
Dr. Van Leer is nodding.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, Dr. Van Laer, if I stole some of your.
no, you're good. That planning is still, nobody has pulled it. The planning is still in motion. We're able to cancel it any time, but we haven't made a decision on it. And yes, right now it's still in play.
Okay, so that's a 9th through 11th grade Busch Gardens trip that all the students are welcome to attend. And this is in addition to the end of year activities that any of the grades might be doing.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Excited about field day, Jesse. So fun. Let me know anything I can do to
Yeah, I
support.
will. We're going to do it at the center and not, well, the park is no longer available since it will be a school for us. So we'll go to the community center,
Which community center?
the TJ.
Oh, yay. Okay, awesome.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Walter Reed.
Oh,
We decided Walter
Walter
Reed.
Reed.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's closer. Okay,
Yes.
very, very cool. Um, okay, and so then end of year events are still in process. Thank you so much for that update. Carrie, who's our 12th grade parent, is not able to join us tonight, but many of the 12th grade parents recently had a call about ways that we can best support the seniors and the activities that they're planning. There is a senior committee that is leading on most of the planning of the activities. We put together just some of the dates that we know are coming up. So March 28th is that deadline for caps and gowns that must be purchased. I think about 60% have been purchased already. March 2nd is the deadline if the student would like to request financial support for costs to be covered. They need to know by then. Nova graduation reception, May 8th, that's for students. Dr. Vinler, is that students getting a degree or also the certificate?
Also the certificate. So any degree or certificate. And we have that right in the Commons at ACC right after school, and families are invited as well as students.
Yay. And graduation for our Nova graduates, associate's degree graduates, is at George Mason on the 12th. We have their senior trip to Busch Gardens. They have a separate trip from the 9th to 11th graders on the 27th. Senior prom, I believe they just locked in the location is going to be at the Torpedo Factory in Alexandria on the 29th. And then ACC graduation is at Wakefield Outdoors on June 3rd. And then the comprehensive high schools graduations are on June 4th, and all of our students are welcome to participate in their comprehensive high schools. But I believe they had to have let them know already by now, right, Dr. Van Leer? I think so. Okay, so those are still happening. Just in terms of our activities grants, at this point, we've granted about $3,900. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, guys. Hold on, I will stop. You all can't see my screen, right? No.
No.
Okay. I promise you I can do hard things. Okay. So Dr. Bentley, I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I'm gonna just do it this way because it's a little bit easier for me. Okay, so 3,900 in grants that have been awarded. So since our last meeting in January, we received three new requests. One for our Model UN Club, our Diversity Chat Club, um, and our Environmental Club. So very exciting. I think our Model UN Club submitted a video for their club request, and it was great. So I can definitely share that after the meeting. Jesse, I put our note here. As you can see, we've received, almost 17 requests for clubs within ACC that our Arlington Tech students participate in. And so the need for resources from our activities is very high. And Jesse and a group of the robotics parents have started to have discussions, reach out to school board members and others. We talked to Dr. Duran as well in terms of helping us to get a dedicated activities director or a budget line item for our clubs. Ideally both, but at the very least in a budget, as these activities can be very expensive. I think our robotics team is over 60 students, and so cost for buses and materials for all of our clubs is expensive, and I think the weight of that falls a lot on our teachers and our administrators as they are there in the building supporting every day. Jesse, is there anything you want to add? I know Jesse would like to start an advocacy committee. Anything you want to
Yeah,
add?
we're still taking volunteers. So there are kind of three different ways that we're thinking about this advocacy committee. One is to support the activities line item, really understand through the school, supporting the efforts to understand kind of how does the school budget for activities. And there are lots of different ways that we can go through doing that. The second, what we would like for ATAC also to do with the advocacy committee is to really support the clubs that are going on at the school, as Stephanie had said, helping being a resource for the parents to think through fundraising, being a resource for the students to help encourage their parents to join more and to support more if necessary. And then third is really just a KoiBots robotics team specific, is to help them fundraise with outside, like the industry around us, because we have so much around us. Why aren't they supporting the robotics club? So if you'd like to join, please send me an email. I'm not very knowledgeable or skilled at this, but and so I'm sure someone else could help us stumble through it quicker and easier. And we'd love to have the support.
And I think, Jesse, to your point, this is probably an activity that's going to start now and go and through the next year or
Yeah.
year and a half. This is going to be a long process as it is a budget request. So thinking about who might be interested in joining this committee, it's probably going to be long term. It'll take lots of different parents kind of leaning in at different points. So definitely something that I think will probably be a big priority for the 2025-2026 school year too, so that we can get into that budget cycle. Anything else, Jesse, before I keep going?
I don't think so. And
Thank you.
FYI, we can't see your slides, just in case.
You can't?
No.
No. Okay, hold on.
I could see him.
Oh,
Oh, you can see them right now?
I
Oh,
could till she tried. Yes, I can see them.
okay, now we
you see
can.
them, Jesse? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. And hi, Miss Brewster. Miss Brewster just joined us. Okay, so update from Dr. Van Leer.
Hi, everyone. Just some shout outs really quickly. The really crowded Commons Black History Month programming went on Monday. They put together a program for us that was diverse with a lot of different aspects to it. And it was obviously really, really popular, really well attended, and a big celebration. If you haven't seen, the whole inside of the Commons has been decorated as a Black History Month museum. So the students worked really hard on that, and our student leaders led it. It was great. Going to the next one that's also in the Commons with the screen down, we had a CTE event that brought together our forensics, our aviation, our EMT, and our criminal justice teachers, and they did a panel discussion on the plane crash that happened, Black Hawk um, uh, plane crash that happened at Reagan very recently, from the standpoint of how these careers and how these fields helped within that situation and what expertise had to be brought to that situation. So students had the chance to ask about some of the technical and details of what enrolled. And our CTE teachers are trying to create more opportunities for to connect current events with much of what students are learning in their classes. And so that was a really good event in terms of how robust the conversation was, even though it's a really hard topic. The next is the cookie decoration that we already talked about. The sophomores had a great time with that, and we got to share it with some of the other grade levels too. It was wonderful. So thank you so much for that. Down in the lower left-hand corner, Blen Fisaha was our Black History Month Student of the Month and was recognized at the school board meeting on February 13th. That's her brother, Bearcat, who's also an Arlington Tech student, and her parents. It was fantastic. Big celebration. NHS has a lot of activities going. That's the next one. They were meeting in the Purple Lounge this past week, and they are putting on a faculty student basketball game as a fundraiser in March, which we're a little scared about. We're signing away our life to say that we won't sue anybody, but we're really excited about that. So details will be coming out about that. It will be after school at TJ. And people can pay in order to be able to come see it, and that's how they're going to raise some money. And the last thing is the robotics team is heavy into competition, so they are at the school after school. Tons of kids working on things, so we see them all the time. So I just wanted to do a shout out for the work that they're doing. I also wanted to say Model UN has their competition or one of their conferences this weekend. I know that they're using ATAC money to help pay for the registration and bring down the cost for students. So thank you so much for that grant, and it's being used this weekend. Okay, some updates. The spring dance has been moved back a week to May 2nd, so it's a late one this year, but I just wanted to put it on people's calendars so that you know. Applications update. We have 150 seats this year. And 130 have been filled at this time, and we still have 100 on the wait list. So we're moving through that. Really, really active with 8th graders right now in 8th grade families. We have admitted families night on April 10th. We're having 2 sessions of it because there are so many families, so that we can have an hour with one set and an hour with the other set. But I'm going to be asking students to volunteer and help me with that night. Marlene Reyes has been a leader and leading that for quite some time, and we've brought on 2 freshmen to help us lead it as well, so that we can keep the student leadership going. We also, if you know any girls in middle school, we are putting a STEM event together on March 22nd, which is a Saturday from 10 to 12, and that communication will be going out next week. And it's an opportunity to get kids into the building, particularly girls into the building, get them connected with STEM, get them interested in Arlington Tech. The Black History Month program on Monday, I already mentioned that was really robust. And then today, to follow up, we had a panel discussion on her story, which brought in a female entrepreneur, a Black female entrepreneur who's done great things. And they had a tea, and so she got to speak to a number of students about her work and give really good advice. The writing SOL for the 11th graders is on March 18th and 19th. So just know that it's really important that 11th graders are there for those days in order to complete the writing SOL. And last but not least, for the 11th graders as well, Archstone is the year-long project that they do to get themselves ready for capstone. And right now, Kristen Johns, who's our advanced academics teacher, has been giving presentations on resumes, and they have been working hard on resumes, making them as good as possible with different kind of iterations based on the context. And those resumes are going to be ready for the mock interviews that are happening on March 26th. All of the 11th graders go through the mock interviews. We bring in tons of volunteers from different industries. Mickey and Nicole work really hard to align student interest with who they bring in for mock interviews, and then making sure that the mock interviewers are in the industry that students are interested in. So they work really hard to align that. Even if a student is going to do an educational capstone, they still go through the mock interview because it's really a great, obviously, experience that we want everybody to have. So that will be happening on March 26th. We ask students to come dressed professionally for those mock interviews and be ready with their resumes. And it's a pretty impressive organization when they pull it off. So that's what I have for you. I spoke fast because I had such a list. So I hope that was.
Thank you, Dr. Van Leer. Any questions for Dr. Van Leer before we move on? Okay, thank you. So we have we have a question. Dima, go for it.
Yeah, sorry. One of the things I hear from a lot of the middle schoolers who are potentially interested in Arlington Tech is they're concerned that there's no orchestra at Arlington Tech. And I know at one point, I think that they planned to have one, and I don't know what happened. And so I was wondering if there's any possibility of it coming up. I know budgets are tight, but like, is there any way like we can work it out so that kids who are still interested, because there's a lot of STEM students I noticed are also orchestra players. So there's some sort of correlation there. Which I don't, some math part or something in the brain. But is there any way we could work it out for, let's say, to have it so that they can go to maybe like HB Woodlawn or something like that, we can create some sort of a synergies there or something like that.
Yeah, there is not there's the long-term plan for that. When we get into the new building, there are music classrooms, and a performance area. So they are going to build in a music program with the new building. Potentially, that's what we're being told. So that's the long-term answer to that. But in the short term, no. The only thing that has been an option for students is to still be part of the marching band in their comprehensive high schools. But we can't build in anything where the students get to go to another school during the school day. It's a good question, Demon. I can give more details on that if you want more details at another time.
And new school building is fall 2026, so not too far out.
Thank you. And are we still on target for 26 or is it 27?
No, we are on target. So far, we're on target for fall 2026. And
perfect.
yeah, so and we have been told that we're going to open up 250 seats next year. So we're going to have the students, so they better be open. I don't know where.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Dima. That's a good question.
And Dr. Van Leer, we have a question around volunteers needed for the interviewers for the mock interviews. Do you all need any volunteers?
I'm not sure, but the person to contact would be Nicole Duraco. So I'll put her email in the chat, and it's always great to ask because we appreciate people reaching out about that. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. So our next update is our new merch. Special thank you to Jody and Elizabeth for running a special spring spirit wear sale. We normally only run the sale in the fall. With the new branding and Arlington Tech logo, Jody and Elizabeth helped us not only to create new merch, but to run a survey where we asked the students for their input on the design and what we would like included. We had over 100 students respond. We obviously couldn't take in all of their feedback, but we have promised to share their feedback for the fall 2025 merch run. This spiritwear is on sale as of yesterday from February 26th to the 12th. The URL is there if you want to take a picture of it. And I know it went out on Parent Square today. Merch will be delivered to Archers in April. Elizabeth or Jody, anything I missed or anything you want to add?
The only thing I would like to add is that Steph is not taking credit for the huge role that she played in helping make this all happen. So Steph was the brainchild behind the survey with the students. She created the survey. She sent the survey out. She gathered the information. She helped put together the posts that you've been seeing go home. So, and with the logos, everything. So that's all I would like to add is thank you to Steph for all that you did to support the spirit where we could not have done it without you. So thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. I'm personally really excited about the quarter zip, and I believe they're embroidered. So just putting in a plug for the quarter zip.
They are, and that's the hot seller so far. That's what we're selling the most of as of today. So
Is the quarter zip?
The quarter zip. You were right. You knew that. That was your idea as well.
Oh
So
no, that was a student in my house who was like, "Why don't you all have quarter zips?" And I was like, "Well, I'll tell Jody and Elizabeth." Um, now we have quarter zips.
Perfect.
So our next thing is we have our spring community social on March 4th. That's on Tuesday from 7 to 9. I left the location off of here. It's at Lost Dog Cafe. That's on Columbia Pike. This was in Dr. Van Leer's update. We will send another reminder out. Oh, this has the wrong. Okay, don't ignore the February 26th, 27th. It is on March 4th. So join us, please, 7 to 9. And then this is an important update I want to share with everyone. So we know Grace Hopper is set to open, fingers crossed, fall 2026. As Dr. Van Leer said, we're expanding enrollment to try and enroll 250 students next year as opposed to 130 this year. I've met with Dr. Duran and with the administrative team at ACC, and they are seeking our support to help better tell the story of Arlington Tech and the Grace Hopper Center, and to help improve our marketing of Arlington Tech in the community and with prospective students and families. There will be a survey that's going to be shared with all parents, caregivers, and students to get their feedback on their current experience at Arlington Tech and ACC and how we can better communicate it. I'm looking to form a committee of parents and families that are interested in supporting the brand advancement for Arlington Tech, helping us maximize marketing opportunities and enrollment. This committee will probably start this year and again run over through next year. So if you are interested, it's not .gov, it's .com, chair@arlingtontech.com. Please email me or send me a note. I'd love to have as many folks as are interested. No worry about the commitment if you can come just a couple of times. But I think Dr. Van Leer, Ms. Chung, the administration at APS could really use our thoughts and our feedback about how to best tell the story of Arlington Tech and Grace Hopper. Any questions on that before I move on? Dima, I had a conversation yesterday about the orchestra and the band additions. And I was told, wink, wink, it's definitely happening, but we're not supposed to say that. I don't know, Dr. Van Leer. I was told it's happening. The facilities have been built into the building, huh?
I said, that makes me so glad that someone said it to you.
Oh, I was told to affirmatively tell people that we will have music and art. The facilities are being built into the building and they're there. It's going to be an important part of retention for our new students. I'll be gone, Dima. If someone says that's not true and that I was lying, my kid's a senior. But yes, the connection between art and STEM is really important. And that was actually the conversation that I was a part of yesterday. So a priority for lots of folks. I will definitely carry that forward. Any questions before we move on? Okay. I'm going to skip over Teacher Appreciation Week so we can get to Miss Brewster, who's our guest and has been here for 20 minutes, and I don't want her to wait much longer. Miss Brewster, I can turn it over to you.
Can you hear me, Steph?
I do.
Oh, great. Hi, everybody. And thanks for skipping that little portion. I do have to take my dog out and still have things to do tonight. So I appreciate you letting me squeeze in before that announcement. So good evening, everyone. I am Kathleen Brewster. I'm the Director of Counseling at Arlington Career Center. This is my third year, and I can't believe that I'm saying that. Feels like it's been just a minute. Prior to coming over to Arlington Career Center, I worked in Alexandria City as a school counselor for about 15 years. So I have a lot of experience doing that, but I'm a relatively new director of counseling. So I've learned absolutely so much at Arlington Career Center, and I absolutely love it. So tonight I'm going to present just a little bit about Arlington Career Center, and my role in supporting the student services team and also supporting students in our building. So that's me. Thank you. So it's important that folks understand the umbrella that is the Arlington Career Center, because I think a lot of people in our community and surrounding areas are confused by what's going on in our building. So we've created this infographic just so folks can understand. And it's important to note that our biggest program is, in fact, our CTE program. So it's the 900 students that come over to our campus every day to take 1 or 2 classes. Arlington Tech is second to that, one of our largest programs. And then we have the Academic Academy, the L Institute, and the PEP program. And so as the Director of Counseling and our Student Services team, we support students across all of these programs. The Academic Academy is a very small program with about 60 students. These are students who, for various reasons, have not found great success in the comprehensive high school. And so they really benefit from the smaller learning community that is the Academic Academy, with a heavy focus and emphasis on social emotional learning. So that's one of our programs that we support. Arlington Tech, as you know, is a wonderful program, a governor's STEM academy with project-based learning, focused on CTE, and we love Arlington Tech. The L Institute is another small program with about 60 students. These are students who have moved here recently from other countries and oftentimes have interrupted learning. So they may have missed several years of school or not been in school for a period of time. And so this is a small program that really helps to reintroduce formal education to students from other countries. And then our PEP program is for students who are age 18 to 22 who are learning basic life skills. So these are students with special needs. We love our PEP program. They spend a lot of time out in the community at internship and externship experiences, learning how to take public transportation, how to kind of function out in the world, how to work. And I love that all of these programs intermingle at all of our events. We really do encourage students of all programs to interact with each other, and we do in really amazing ways at the Arlington Career Center. Our teen parenting program is the smallest program. We have a teen parenting program coordinator, Ingrid Baserto, and she supports teen parents across all of Arlington. So in any of our Arlington public schools, if there's an expecting parent or a parent who is also a student, she supports them. So it's not a formalized program like Arlington Tech. It's more of a resource center. She happens to be housed at the Arlington Career Center down near the daycare, which is on our first floor. Folks are kind of interested to know, because CTE is our largest program per se. Most of our students are from Wakefield, and that's probably because we are in closest proximity to Wakefield. Second to that is W&L, then Yorktown. We have a few students who come over from HB Woodlawn to take classes. We also have 30 students every year who come from Meridian High School, which is in Falls Church City. We have a few students who come over from Langston New Directions, a few from Community High School, and then we have a few contract services students. So those are students who are privately placed at different institutions, and they still take a class at the Career Center. So we're happy to be serving the entire community, and student support team supports all of these students. So one of the things I have a major role in, and Michelle is probably laughing to herself, is determining what courses are offered at ACC. So when you guys are talking about art and band, the logistics behind making that happen is one of my major roles. So we're excited that we offer all of the courses that we do, but we do love to add additional courses once central office approves those and gives us access to those very important course codes. So we're excited about being able to offer new classes, but there are logistics behind it, and that's one of my roles. So if you scroll to the right, we can take a look at, these are some of our CTE and engineering classes. We have single block classes. We have double block engineering classes. Hopefully you all have seen some of these classes as your students have been coming home recently with their course request forms, because we are in academic advising season. So kids should be coming home with forms for you to look at and sign so you can see their course requests. Go to the next one. Within the human and public services realm, our single and double block classes, very popular. Health and medical science classes, again, some classes are every other day, some classes are every single day. And our IT, digital media, business, and fine arts. So we do have a few fine arts classes. We have art. We also have photography classes, but we are excited about adding more to that bank of classes. Another thing I have a hand in is coordinating and collaborating with our dual enrollment partner, which is Northern Virginia Community College. So assisting students with understanding dual enrollment, because that's one of our top selling points, is the ability for students to take these college classes while they're in high school. So many of our dual enrollment classes are transferable, meaning that they can use them at Nova, but they could also take them to other institutions. So it's important that students and families understand the courses that are transferable. And then the next slide talks about non-transferable APS Nova courses. So these are courses that would not transfer to another institution, but would give course credit should the student attend Nova. We talk to and encourage students during academic advising season to challenge themselves to take rigorous courses. So that includes intensified courses and also dual enrollment. So during this season of the year, we're working closely with students just to make sure that they're making choices that maintain a healthy balance. We like students to be academically stretched, but not stressed. And so we talk to students about dual enrollment, how it works, and the benefits thereof. So these are the counselors, and sorry, I'm on my phone, so I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So we have 4 traditional school counselors. At this point in time, they're assigned by grade level. We have a counselor who's specific to our L Institute program. We have a college and career counselor, Frank Duraco. I believe he presented maybe last month. Starleen Adelet is our intervention counselor. So she works very closely with students who maybe need an extra support, an extra nudge. We also work collaboratively with our school social worker, our school psychologist, and our substance abuse counselor. So that's kind of all within the umbrella of the student services team with which I oversee. So what's going on in the world of counseling right now is academic advising season is wrapping up. So counselors have met individually with most students. Students have been selecting classes. And so my work over the next couple of months is to take all of those class requests and to build a master schedule. And I do my best to build a master schedule that allows students some flexibility, allows students to take the courses that they want, to really get their top choice when it comes to elective. And that's kind of what's going on in my world right now. Does anyone have any questions about school counseling, the student support services team, or anything of that nature? Happy to answer. Or we can talk about Teacher Appreciation Week, which is also very fun.
Thank you so much, Miss Brewster.
You're welcome.
I have a question just in terms of like the dates and academic advising. So has the deadline passed for submitting the course request forms?
So we asked students to return those on Friday of last week. But if a student still has one, please don't hesitate to turn that into your counselor this week or next.
Okay. And then what happens after the course request form is submitted? Like what's the next step?
Yep. So once the course request form is submitted, I do the work behind the scenes to build the master schedule. Within the next couple of weeks, I believe, in Parent View, you're going to be able to see your students' course requests digitally. That's an opportunity for you to see what your students selected if you haven't already seen it. And then in August, students get their official schedule.
Okay, we have a question in the chat. I'm going to read it to you because you're on your phone.
Okay.
How early in summer do we find out if a class will not actually be offered because of low enrollment?
Oh, you can reach out to me directly if you have a question about a specific class, because that doesn't happen really until August.
So like later in August?
Yeah, right around the time that schedules are coming out. But you can feel free to email me. I'm happy to answer those types of questions over the summer. Yeah.
And then, Ms. Brewster, I have another question that I feel like comes up. Like, what happens when the kids don't get the schedule that they want? Or like there's a mistake in their schedule? Like when do you prefer they come to you to flag that, or what's that process in the fall?
So counselors return to school 2 weeks before students return to school. So they are back in their offices and answering emails. So if your child gets their schedule in August and it's not what they requested, or you see an error, you can email the school counselor at that point. So that's 2 weeks before kids come back to school. And that's the best time, because counselors have that time dedicated to kind of catching those errors and cleaning things up. Additionally, within the first 2 weeks of school, we allow students to kind of test the water to see how they like their schedule, how they like their classes. And if there's a class that's really not working for them, that's the opportunity for them to maybe try something different. So after the first 2 weeks of school, we really hope that most students are settled and we can start the year.
Perfect. That's super helpful.
Great.
Any other questions for Ms. Brewster? I'm so grateful for your time. We have a question. Okay, Dima, go for it.
Sorry, I'm always trying to
I love your questions, Dima.
Okay. You can always count on me for that.
Yay.
Let me Ms. Brewster, so I was discussing things with my daughter, and I'm sure other people are facing this, but about overload and trying to fit in all the classes so that the kids can get the associate's degree. How does that work? Because we can't seem to get all the qualifications in unless we have some sort of overload.
Yeah. So we are so fortunate at the Career Center to have a NOVA funded counselor. Dima, have you or your student met with Miss Magro yet?
Yes, we have. And the only thing we could work overload.
Yep. And that's how it lands sometimes. Sometimes it does require that students take an additional class here or there or something over the summer. But she is definitely the resident expert on all things NOVA and associate's degrees and certifications. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks.
You're welcome.
And Dima, my daughter's done both overload and summer classes. While also, I love what you said, Ms. Brewster. It's about not stress. What was it you said?
Academically stretched, but not stressed.
Stretched, not stressed. Yeah, that line is so thin with 16-year-old girls.
It sure is. I
Um,
know Marlene, she's so gung-ho.
yeah, she was more
Mhm.
committed to the associates than any of us were, I think. So Deema, I'm happy to chat with you.
Ditto. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, honey, you don't need this. Ambitious girls, you don't want
Yeah,
to stop in the
Yeah.
way, but yeah. So, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
100%.
So before I log off, just a plug that summer school information, the county's releasing summer school information on or around March 3rd. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested or have questions about summer school. You can
And
also reach out to counselors.
what classes are the students able to take in the summer, Ms. Brewster?
Lots. Yeah. So we have credit recovery. They can also take new classes, including PE, econ, personal finance. And then there's a whole list of virtual classes that students can take if they want to take a new course for credit as well. So lots of summer school information, and that will be available on the APS website under summer learning.
And there's in-person classes and virtual.
Yes.
Where are the in-person classes? Do you know?
This year, summer school is at WNL, I believe. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Brewster.
All right. I'll go walk my dog.
Good night. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I'm gonna take us back if I can figure out how to use slides. Hold on one sec. Okay. This is our last teacher appreciation, teacher and staff appreciation. So this actually has a quote from Ms. Brewster. Thank you so much to Erin and Jennifer, who came out for National School Counseling Week. We were able to drop off a spread of breakfasts of bagels and pastries and fruit to help celebrate our counselors during that week. Could not have done it without Erin and Jennifer. And Ms. Brewster sent a note, a huge thank you to all of ATAC for the delicious breakfast. We sent a special spread to the counseling suite, as well as providing breakfast for the school to celebrate them. And so that was very well received. All the counselors also received a small gift card from Dunkin' Donuts as a thanks from ATAC as well. Upcoming dates that we have next week is National School Social Worker Week. The gift for social worker was given with Counseling Week, so we won't do anything special for next week, but just laying that out there. We'll send a note to Ms. Mescal, thanking her for her work. We have School Librarian Appreciation Day coming up. We have gift cards for our lunch staff, and our assistant principals coming up. So those cards and gift cards have been purchased and are ready to be shared. And Teacher Appreciation Week, our Super Bowl coming up May 5th. The Teacher Appreciation Week committee met last week. I failed to send a reminder, so not everyone remembered that it was happening, but a few of us joined, and we have a few things in motion. I think our priority is determining where we're going to order the lunch. So we traditionally help to cover a staff lunch. For all of ACC, we cover the cost of the Arlington Tech staff. That'll be that Wednesday. And then we're also going to be fundraising for gift cards to present to our teachers and staff, and that will be kicking off pretty soon. I think Josh will be reaching out to you about that. And that is coming up very soon. And then I just put together a calendar. This will be in the notes when we share of just some upcoming events. So we talked about 10th grade. There's 10th grade social on Monday, all Arlington Tech Family Social on Tuesday. Just, some early release in those school days. Cultural Night was moved from February to April 4th, which is an all ACC event that's led by Arlington Tech students to celebrate cultures across the building. And Dr. Van Leer mentioned admitted students nights, and we have all of our fun senior activities. So this is not comprehensive, but just laying out some of the dates that we know about. That is everything I have for this evening. Does anyone have any questions or anything I didn't bring up that they want to chat about?
I had something I wanted to add. It's not anything to do with what you currently covered tonight, but I wanted to just share with you that there's an opportunity for a STEM Expo at the National Landing on April 6th, which I don't know if you're aware of. I'm on the board at the planetarium, and we have a number of student advisors who will be participating there. It's a free event, and because it focuses on STEM, I thought it might be something that students at Arlington Tech might be interested in. And I'm just going to put the website in the chat in case it's something that you'd want people to take advantage of. It's free and it's on the weekend.
Thanks, thanks. I will make sure people know. So yeah, please put it in the chat. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great, thanks.
And this reminds me, we didn't mention it earlier, but earlier this month, we also met with someone from George Mason to connect on the new Fuse Innovation Building that they have opening up on Glebe Road. And I know, Dr. Van Laird, you've been in touch with other folks around this building. They're going to have a huge robotics lab, a drone lab. I think Virginia Tech just opened a similar building this week in Alexandria. They're having their grand opening as well. And so we're looking for ways that there might be opportunities to partner as these innovation hubs are coming into our area and making sure that they're aware of Arlington Tech and the future Grace Hopper Center.
Thanks.
I think that's everything. It's 8:56. So we have 4 minutes. We can all stay on the phone together for 4 minutes, or we can wish everyone a
You
good
could
night.
tell us jokes, Steph.
No,
No.
no, none of that, none of that. Things are hard and weird right now, and I love our kids and our students, and I'm grateful for all of you who show up for our students every day. So thank you all. And this is recorded. I was sending it out in an email, and appreciate everyone's support.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.